All right. All right, here we go. Oh shit, close out the game again. All right. So I'm gonna kind of rely on y'all to tell me how audio is because I have it set to 100 on the game and it sounds fine to me and it sounded fine like in the testing, but I really don't know. But I'm gonna keep an eye on it, make sure everything looks okay. Alright, so today it's so difficult to stream in front of somebody. I have one live audience member. So today I'm joined by my fiance, who is sitting to the left of me. My camera's not on, so that's a irrelevant point. So if you hear her in the background giggling at various jokes said throughout the game, you know that it's not my girly laugh this time. It is an actual woman. So I'm just gonna wait a minute or two. Give it a minute for people to get in here. If anyone's gonna jump in, we'll have to see. Let's see. Right. I'm actually curious, what are the achievements in this game? Because in the original game, let's see. Play the Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday. Settings World Champion. Set all settings in the sliders menu to all the available numbers. Okay. Super Go Outside. Don't play the Stanley Parable for 10 years. Interesting. Can I not get... I'm just gonna go ahead and start it. People will come in as they come in here. So I see that I have one concurrent viewer, unless that's just me and I'm getting clowned. So if that's whoever that is, sound off. Alright. Let's begin. The Stanley Parable. And you've never seen this game before?
No.
Oh my god, this game is so fucking good, dude.
This is the story
Hey,
of a man
Carly's in
named
here.
Stanley.
Hello. Perfect timing.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
It's perfect. She can watch it.
Employee number 427's job was simple.
And let me know how the
Stanley
audio
desk
is, if I need to turn it up or down or
427,
whatever.
And he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Although for this game, you kind of want the audio loud.
And then
It's
one
all
day,
talking.
something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
All right, and we begin.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Can you took it out of
No
the
matter
window?
how hard
Hold on.
Stanley looked,
I gotta know if I
he
can still
couldn't
get out of the
find a
window.
trace of his co-workers. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like, right now. You could have done it just then.
I think I might have fucked myself, because that starts a whole new chain of bullshit if you jump out the window. If I remember correctly, we'll find out.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Fuck it, I'm going out the window again. I feel like...
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along.
It might not have
He
looped.
then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be?
Watch what
don't
happens
we
if I hit
take a
no?
minute just
Honestly,
to
don't
drink
remember.
it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Ah, then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected Continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other
This is
option
such a
so
shit
much
show.
that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever.
Okay, let's actually play the game now.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
You notice how when I click my mouse buttons, it makes the sound of me like clicking. Okay, for the first time around, I'm gonna listen to the
Stanley came
narrator.
to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
And then we'll do a fuck the narrator playthrough after that. Huh. They got the...
There was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh my fucking god. Basically, like, might as well be. I just love how all of the words that are on all these like whiteboards are just corporate fucking horseshittery. Synergize. Synergize D's, you motherfucker. Do I dare go for the broom closet ending?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
No, I'll do this later. I'll do this later.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I forgot. I'm gonna do a with the narrator on the first one, and then after that we'll go full fucking anarchy, just ruining everything. Huh, interesting. That wasn't there in the original one, I don't think. I think the executive bathroom was just closed off.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
This looks substantially better than the original one. Like, graphically,
Stanley
the
wondered
original
in
was pretty
disbelief
basic.
who
But...
orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him.
Okay.
And so the boss had assigned it an
Boob.
extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
8, 4, 5.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I don't know how much more like shit they added. Apparently they've added like an absolute metric shitload of new endings. I haven't seen any of the new stuff. I'm familiar with some of the older
Descending
stuff.
deeper
like,
into the
vaguely.
building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Pardon you, bitch. You popping at me.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read
Oh,
Mind Control Facility.
I know I keep saying I want to follow the director, but there's literally a fucking sign written in like crayon that says Escape. I want to go that way. No, we'll be playing this for a while tonight. I can go back and do that later.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible
It's very
secret did
Truman
this
Showy.
place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
It looks very good, actually. The original one didn't look bad, but it was very clearly like a
Now
source.
the monitors jumped to life. their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
There's mine right there, 427. Okay. Well, I understand, like, this is, like...
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
You want me to return? Yes, please.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
No one will control me, I am Stanley, listens to the little goofy voice in his head eternally, forever.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won!
There's
He had
like
defeated
the
machine,
regular like vanilla ending.
unshackled himself from
It
someone
gets
else's command.
so fucking
Freedom was
ridiculously
mere moments
stupid
away.
at some
And yet,
points.
even as the immense door slowly
But I want to get like the original
Stanley
ending out of the way.
reflected on how many
Just the most like
puzzles
vanilla
still lay
basic one out the
unsolved.
way.
Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin.
Waiting for him to get like
the feeling of
JFK.
liberation.
I can't remember how this ending
Immense
ends.
possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Okay, so there was ending number 1. That's how the game is supposed to end. But now, my favorite part. We begin the new and improved scientific method, which involves fucking around and subsequently finding out. So, the first thing we shall do is the broom closet ending.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What's that one? Oh, that's okay, yeah. Wait. Yeah. I need to find all these. Hold on. I think the more computers, like when you restart over and over again, more of the computers allow you to access them and you get an ending that way, but I can't remember.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
You're so right, big man. I can't find shit. I really hope Mark plays this, because his original
Stanley
playthrough of
came
this
to a
game was
set
like
of
one of
two
my
open
favorite things
doors.
he's ever
He
done.
entered the door on his
But
left.
it was like original, like Lulsa random funny Markiplier, which is not my favorite era of Markiplier, you know?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Me,
Stanley decided to
every
go up to his boss's
fucking,
office, hoping
every
he
other
might find an
Friday,
answer there.
financial panic meeting.
Oh no, oh no, 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 not. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Now we wait. Because he says more shit as you wait. My thoughts. My thoughts. Where did I find it? I can't remember how long you have to wait in here, or if I had to wait in here the first time around. I can't remember. I think I have to restart like completely, because I have to do one where he tells me like, let's see. Off we go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What
Check
could
for
it mean?
computers.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Beeping and bopping. Let's do it. Let's do it. You? Alright.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Never mind, I guess I'm not doing the broom closet thing. Fucking okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then
It's just
something
the
occurred to
key
Stanley.
thing to me.
Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
Okay,
None of it
dude.
made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella
I don't remember this one.
Like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Oh
but
my
on this
God.
particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
Holy shit.
It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring.
Dude, I don't remember this ending at all. Holy shit.
She turned and ran.
Oh my fucking god. Okay, well. Alright, so now we're going full in.
All of this
I'm going to the
was
right
gone.
now.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
For real though, like she just saw this dude stumble around and went, fuck it, called an ambulance and walked off. Oh. Received. Okay, they literally put a door.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
What the fuck?
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if the... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle?
What? So I can't jump outside the circle. I can only jump inside the circle. Don't use all my jumps here. Okay.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes.
Okay.
I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley?
A bear has
This is
joined.
what happens
Hi,
when
bud.
greedy video game developers with
Hello.
no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievement, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended,
Big
and
fluffy
I
boy.
intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to
friend
such
in here.
expectations.
A friend and a boy.
If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always.
Okay, so what absolute fucking horrors are gonna await me when I restart this shit?
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Huh. I feel like I've just unleashed a horror unbeknownst to man. Now the question is, do I go back into the new content door?
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content? When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Lovely.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
What if... Wait, first open door on my left. It's here, right?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years
This
ago.
game is fucking great.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult.
I'm gonna jump off.
But the fact is that the story has been about nothing but
I feel like it
you
wants me to go that
all
way
this
up there.
time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Okay.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Now this is my full anarchy, like, bullshittery.
Perhaps you misunderstood.
Oh.
Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here.
Oh,
running
for
and
fuck's
running
sake.
and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped.
They put me in the Euclidean
And I
bullshit
think-
square.
Well, I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Okay. I wonder if the cheater ending is still in this game.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel
I'm gonna stay in here
happy.
for a bit. Look at the pretty lights. Can I jump off? No. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, it's nice of them that they have this here. That it actually can give like context warnings or content warnings. Because there is one end, like that one ending where Stanley like jumps out of the window or whatever. You can't turn the console. So they might have removed the cheater ending. Let me go through here.
No, wait. Where are you going?
I'll go back in.
Right. Where were we?
Okay, well let's...
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Oh, do I have to take a
Please,
plunge
Stanley,
drop?
think about what you're doing.
In the wise words of a previous me playing Portal 2, tossing that turret. Yay!
No! Oh, thank God. You lived.
What?
You had me worried there for a moment. Now, no. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Part 2. I feel like I need to give a more hearty yeet. The first one didn't do it.
Stanley,
God
let's go
fucking...
back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
What if I do go back to the other room? And then take a third trip on
Perhaps
Mickey's
you
Dick
can.
Smasher.
Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about. I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
Nope, go back to the Dick Smasher.
No, perhaps not.
This is some backroom shit we're experiencing right now.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game?
Oh,
You'll throw
no!
yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
So I gotta avenge myself for that weak ass second yeet. Yay! What?
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along.
This is so
I guess
sad.
that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
This is so sad. What the fuck? We're gonna do a backward swan dive.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
The narrator isn't here. Wait.
Stanley
Oh, there you
decided
go.
to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
3 straight booty blast clunge drops. It was 4?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope. Well, let me see. Hold on, what's over here?
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
What is this?
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track.
Oh, how passive
So now, in
aggressive
order
the
to get
narrator.
back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Favorite one is up.
No,
Thinking
let's
about it.
see. We went
Really?
down,
Build up my
right,
sour
left,
tolerance.
down,
Really?
Yeah.
left, right. Yep, okay, yes.
Damn,
I've got
that
it now.
rapper's
This
kicking your
story
ass,
is
huh?
absolutely, definitely this way.
We're backing out. I'm not doing nothing.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley...
What in the fuck?
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story. I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
No, for fuck's sake. What was that? You do? Why? Alright. Why, if you hate sour, why do you want sour?
Not super simple.
Why are you trying to take so many clunge drops right now?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bite it. Bite it.
There's no hole in it.
Bite it. Do it.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything? Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here
Oh, I'm back on another fucking non-Euclidean
No,
bullshit
wait,
square.
Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
Fuck
Some
you two.
people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Oh. It's the fucking adventure line. It's the fucking adventure line.
What does that mean?
It's the fucking... You are in... You're gonna be laughing so hard you're gonna piss yourself. It's the fucking adventure line, bro. Yes. Yes. Adventure line.
All right,
Let's fucking
I've
go.
got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that? You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what?
Yes.
I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern
Well,
will be very
No.
important later in the story. Make sure you
give
study
it
it
last up.
closely
Yeah.
and remember it carefully. You
it
won't
last
want
up.
to miss anything.
Fine.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No, no, no. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Well, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
No hole in it.
Fine. We'll resolve it at once. You pull off the band-aid. And bite this on. If you're wondering what's happening over here, my fiance hates sour candies, and she is now eating a very tart blue raspberry candy and convulsing violently. Need the last sip of your water?
Yes.
She's dying over here, bro. I didn't betray her. She's the one who ate it.
Stanley, I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction? Now, yes,
Pain
this
salt.
is
Yeah,
exciting.
I'm about to buy
Just
some
me and
sour
Stanley
stuff.
forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild.
God, I'm
Use
tired.
your
I'm so sick of the
imagination.
non-Euclidean
Whatever
bullshit
it might be,
players.
Stanley, I'm ready for it.
I want to get some of those black cherry
Oh,
warheads.
No, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it. And we should be fine.
What if I do acknowledge it, though? What the fuck did it do here?
Treating it as if it's like an SCP's humor.
SCP-626 Adventure Line.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I
Oh my
restart
fucking god,
again.
my mic was
Then what?
muted.
Am I
Holy
just
shit.
supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this
I just love the
thing.
SCP line.
Wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay.
I fucking love this game. This game is so good.
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey. Though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
The game just restarted.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm gonna follow the directions because I think this is still part of that same ending as before.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
There's teabag, but how long am I gonna be in this elevator? Nope. Does that just go forever? Wait. Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
What's doing? If I touch this rectangle.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Nope. Escape! Let's go.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
You gotta aggressively waddle. You can't half-ass it. You gotta full-ass it.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Okay. I'm not dead. Yeah,
And yet it would
I
be
played
just
the
a few
original like
minutes before
forever
Stanley
ago,
would
and I don't
restart
remember
the
a whole
game
lot of it.
back in his office,
Like all the
as
new stuff
alive
I don't
as ever.
remember. And I only remember
What
like 3 of the
exactly did
endings.
the narrator think he was
One
going
was
to
the
accomplish?
escape or the Adventure Line one was the original
When
ending.
every
This I
path
don't
you can
remember.
walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
This is really cool. It's like a little museum. Like for the game development. This is really rad actually. Yeah, I know there's like a shitload of endings. I really only remember the 3. 2 of them in the mind control, and then this one. So, should I keep going back into that new content door? Or, like, did it change? Okay. From Dink Dunk, subject gay. Are you gay? Compelling questions. I'm actually curious. This is super sick. Do you like unlock this like after like in the menu, or do you have to do that ending to come back here? Because I'd love to like come in here and just read this shit. It's super cool.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone
Well, let
else's
myself get
path.
crushed.
Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Okay.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it.
So let
If he
me...
checked over his shoulder now, he would surely
Let's
catch
do the
them.
new
It was only
content
a
door
matter of
then.
time. Oh, new content? What does that mean?
So there, we did that one. Is there another... I guess it's the same one.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long
Sorry,
last,
my mic was
it's
muted.
on
Yeah,
to the
no,
new
I
content.
started
I've
this
never
one, I
been
think.
more ready.
I
Let's do it.
got like the jump thing, but I haven't got anywhere since that.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if them... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle. Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
So, do I guess I can't use all my jumps though, because I said it earlier. Let me go back. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna use all my jumps. I'm gonna go back there and I'm gonna try it. I get another. Well, too late for that now. I guess I go back and do that later on. I can reset my game or whatever.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes, I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Oh shit. Okay. So yeah, now I'm in a completely different thing. Okay.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something! Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Yeah, I know. Shut the fuck. Yeah, I vented. Haha. Sus. Among Us joke.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
I'm not being mean to you. Maybe I'm being mean because I'm the imposter. Sus. actually really sweet in a weird way.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote,
Oh, that's super cool.
"We're so many games that are..."
No, I need to explain that for a second. So, if I'm not mistaken, originally, I don't want to like dead name, but there's a reviewer who now goes by Stephanie Sterling. Originally, it was Jim Sterling, and in the game, they actually properly refer to her as her new.
Cool.
That's cool.
Aspire to be more
So-
than games, end up less than any form of art. Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created. Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing.
It was
It's
Persona
no games
3.
at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk.
Yeah, she's
with
going
an
by
hour of new
Stephanie Sterling
elevated
now.
Content.
But it's cool that they like, I guess they reached out to her and like asked which name to use. It's super cool that they did that.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Oh, okay. So they put a reference into it. So in the original Stanley Parable, if you try to activate cheats, it would send you to this room right here, and it was the narrator going like, "Why are you trying to cheat? Stop being a bitch." And you can't do it in this one because it's not. You can't pull the console, but they allude to it in the serious room.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here.
What's up?
Surely these
Okay.
reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
This is absolutely fucking great.
Okay, let's see what this one says.
Just bear one
The
out.
idea for the game is good. For someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
Man.
To begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it, well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure, like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
What the fuck is happening?
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people, and if the people want Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated.
This is so fucking funny.
How Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait. How do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else? Stanley! Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
This is so fucking funny.
I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back.
Fucking what is that?
Goodness, I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to...
What the
Oh,
fuck is going on?
It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year?
What? It's getting kind of freaky.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of our... But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything.
What am I to do here? Because I can't...
The end is never the end, 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 is never the...
Starting to get really freaky. Whoa. What the fuck is going on, dude? Okay. It's been an hour and 30, and usually I keep my streams are like an hour, 32 hours. So I'm gonna call it here for now. I don't know what I'll stream next. Maybe tomorrow, because I'm off work. I don't know yet. We'll have to see. But I'm gonna call it for now. This game is fucking crazy. Like, this game is actually fucking ridiculous. Because I remembered a few of the endings. So I remember like the mind control one. I remembered like the original ending, right? I remember the adventure line. I didn't remember that museum thing. And of course the new content is new to me. So yeah, I will come back to this. I don't know how long this game takes to finish. I don't know at all. I guess we'll find out. But alright. I will see y'all in the next one. It's been fun. Yeah, of course. I plan on streaming it and finishing it. So we'll have to see. Alright.